keep score for a whole year and then I hope you die so I can get a cheap bottle of liquor and get real drunk. Yeah. I will get a cheap bottle of liquor and you will die. You will die.
Oh, there's that thing.
There it is again.
All right. Anyways, hey guys, what's up? It's
January 31st.
What he said. Yeah, it's the end of January, and more importantly, it's time for the 2024 Celebrity Death Poll. Sorry we didn't break out the candles or the rubs this year.
Yeah, it took a long time to scrape the wax off the table.
That was a pain in the ass.
I bet it was.
That was a very big pain in the ass. But no, we just didn't get it together this year. But we did bring the Death Pool, and that's all that fucking matters.
That's all that matters. And we've got a two-time defending champion.
Oh, yeah.
That we're trying to dethrone here.
Dr. Death, Daddy White.
That's what we're going to call him.
The Angel of Death. If I'm telling you right now, guys, if you see one of your favorite celebrities on Dr. Death, Daddy White's fucking death list,
he's a goner.
you may as well try to write him now and say goodbye because you ain't getting much more, all right?
See, and the thing about it is I think a lot of people, and I think Daddy White does a little research, like who's sick, blah, blah, blah.
He does, but I looked at his list this year, right? And we have a couple matching ones, so I know he does the research too because I do the research, all right?
I researched one or two people.
Fine. We all got our different strategies, all right? Daddy White's a two-time winner, so maybe he's doing the right thing. Or you're saying you think it's unfair.
Well, no, I don't think it's unfair at all because when I was Googling, celebrities with bad conditions, whatever, 100 of them came up.
Yeah.
This guy's got lupus. This guy's got cancer, but it's in remission. I think you got to get lucky with the ones you pick because I've picked some in the past that were on death's door apparently, and they're still here. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. You know what I don't like about this is it's showing the right side a little bit higher. I don't know. If this episode ends up sounding shitty, then I put it all on the whites. I'm blaming the whites for this one.
Do it.
They don't get blamed.
It's been a while since we got blamed for something.
Yeah, they don't get blamed for enough. Actually, they get blamed for everything nowadays. So whatever. All right, you want to just get straight to it? Let's get to the death pool.
But real quick,
go.
I will tell you this. If you want to submit a death pool, Jason and I will give you, let's say, another 2 weeks. Now, if one of your people, until your death pool is submitted, you get no points. So don't try to give us one later with somebody who's, dead already and say, oh, I had him. I just didn't send it in. That ain't going to work. But we'll give you another week or two if you want to get one in.
Hey, and this is the first celebrity death pool in 3 years where we haven't had someone mentioned that was already dead. All right, we're usually at least get one.
Oh, do it normally?
Each year, everybody's had one person that was already dead before the death pool even happened. Sometimes, I think one of them was like 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, they were like way dead. They were just kind of dead. They were like way dead.
Did you give them the points?
No, they get negative.
They should get negative for
That's
being
the rules.
stupid.
For every year they're dead, you get a negative point.
Well, I will tell you this. A couple of the people on my list, I did pop on there and make sure they weren't dead before I submitted them.
Yeah.
Because their names I hadn't heard in a while, and I'm like, okay. The way I did mine this year is I was looking at it around, I was going, oh, I know I like these three. And then I must have had 10 more. And then I just started, hey, I saw this guy on TV last week and he looked fucking terrible. All right, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And then that's the way I do mine.
He's going to die.
I know we'll get a cheap bottle of liquor and you will die.
All right,
let's get to it.
Start off my death pool. We always start off with ours. My death pool, number one on my list is Sly Stone. All right, Sly Stone's been sticking around for a long time for a guy that did crack for 30 years. He has COPD, and he's not looking good.
He hasn't looked good in 20 years.
Exactly. He's due. Yeah. 81 years old, Sly Stone. There's two of us. Two of us had Sly Stone. So
really?
Twice. I think the other one might be Dr. Death Daddy White himself.
So he was on the news lately as being in bad shape.
Well, he just, and the next one is my other repeat, and we both share these two. Right off the bat, Roberta Flack. Sorry, babe. You got the ALS. You're gone. You're too old for ALS. No. You're 87 years old to begin with. She's already fought through everything. She's getting killed softly at some point this year.
She's going
to be Flack is
doing
goner.
Midnight at the Oasis in the clouds.
Not looking good for Roberta Flack. I'm sorry, babe. Number 3, Louis Farrakhan.
Oh, you take Louis Farrakhan.
Well, Louis Farrakhan's 91 years old. He's not been in good health for a while. This is my oldest entry. I usually don't go for anyone in the 90s, but Louis Farrakhan meant a lot to me as a young man.
Why?
Because I listened to a lot of, because
he didn't like you.
Because I listened to a lot of Public Enemy as a child. Here's an old tape cassette, and he was real big in the Public Enemy world. He probably didn't like me, but you know who else he didn't like? he didn't like the Jews very much.
No.
And it's a bad time this year.
He's Muslim, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's extra, like, different kind of Muslim. He's not like your typical
Muslim's
Muslim.
number one enemy is the Jew, just like the Klan.
I thought it was pork. I thought they just really hated fucking
Yeah,
pigs.
it's all with the Gaza-Israel thing. That's why the Muslims hate the
Oh,
fucking
no,
Jews.
they've hated the Jews way before Gaza and Israel. Gaza and Israel.
You know what I've always hated about Louis Farrakhan?
You know what I've always hated about Jews? Oh, no, sorry.
You know, Martin Luther King. Okay?
I've heard of him.
Everyone called him Dr. King. I'm good with that.
I think he was
He
a doctor.
earned that. But to make a speech and call him Minister Farrakhan,
He's a minister.
it bothered me.
Why?
Because I don't call minister to anyone else who's a minister. I don't say, hello, Priest John.
Actually, you know what? I'm a minister.
And I don't say father.
I'm a minister.
Well, I do say
and
father
I think
if I
you
see
need
him.
to start calling me Minister Jason.
Do I? Well, it'd be Minister Bauman.
No, not
wouldn't
to
it?
me.
Oh, you're
I'm
one
informal.
of those. Okay, good.
I'm
All right, so Louis Farrakhan.
I'm the Universal Life Church minister, dude. We get our fucking ministership on the internet. We don't give a fuck what you call us.
Has Louis got medical conditions?
Nah, he's just old as shit. I mean, who doesn't have a medical condition when they're
You know
91?
what? Until you said his name, I probably hadn't heard his name in 20
His
years.
name popped up in something recently, and I went, he's still alive? And I looked him up. I'm like, ooh, I'm putting him on my death list.
Huh.
All right. Number 4, Ted Turner.
Wow.
Ted Turner
He's
has
still alive?
Yeah, and he has what they call Lewy body dementia. Ted Turner has no fucking clue he's alive, I think, is what's going on.
Still married to Jane Fonda?
And he's had, I don't know, he's had this for 4 or 5 years, and the life expectancy of that is 4 to 6 years. So,
Okay.
So he's due. Ted Turner's 81, all the money in the world. Sometimes it don't fucking matter.
No.
You're still gonna die. Linda Nolan is my number 5 from the Nolan sisters.
Who's I don't know who that
It
is.
was a disco band in the early. Well, I don't even think it was like a disco kind of music. It was in Britain, a real prop. They were like a girl band back in the day. She's had cancers of 8 different kinds. This lady is just like, it's a miracle she's still alive. She's 64. Linda ain't making another year, according to me. Next, Celine Dion makes my list 2 years in a row.
She's young.
We all laugh because she
what,
has
60?
stiff person syndrome.
That's a real thing?
That's a real thing. We talked about it last year. She has it. And, if you hear it, you don't think it's going to be that much. But the more I look into it, you don't have a long life expectancy of that because basically it means your muscles stop moving and your heart is a muscle.
Well, she's a skeleton anyway.
Well, that don't matter. But either way, eventually, I guess her heart is just going to stop working.
Okay.
It's going to become stiff, her heart. And then when it becomes stiff, it don't beat anymore. And her heart...
the woman
Hey.
can't weigh 100 pounds.
Her heart does not go on. Oh, woo! I'm nailing these today, dude. That's 2. Killing me softly, and now the fucking Titanic. Go fuck yourself. Speaking of fucking yourself, next up, Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy is rough. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah, but he was found not guilty by reasons of insanity.
Well,
He's
no, he
in a
wasn't
loony
found
bin.
not. He wasn't found not guilty.
That's what it said. It said
He was
found insane.
He was let go to private care because he's too insane to hurt somebody. He's bedridden. He has no fucking clue who Ron Jeremy even is. Ron Jeremy's gone. I don't know what's happening. The syphilis got to his head. I don't know what's going on there. Ron Jeremy's gone. Speaking of gone, Steve Mongo McMichael.
Oh, you got a wrestler in there.
He was a wrestler, but he was really more. He was a Bear. He was on that '85 team at the Bears, the Chicago Bears.
But he did wrestle.
He did
for a
wrestle,
while.
and that's where I think he got the Mongo name. Anyways, he 2 people had him also. 2 people had Linda Nolan also.
So she must have been in the news.
Yeah. And Mongo has ALS, so he hasn't been able to move.
Man, have you
fucking
noticed
years.
a big spike in ALS?
My list is almost all ALS. I don't know what's going on.
Before our friend got it, you didn't hear much
I think
about
it's
it.
the vaccines.
That's,
the
believe me, it'll turn into
vaccines.
that. It'll turn into that.
All right. Number 9, Jeff the Drunk. Jeff the Drunk from the Howard Stern fame. Again, this guy, I remember I haven't listened to Stern in like 10 years. And back then he was about to die every other week.
Jeff the Drunk.
He just gets drunk and falls downstairs. He has seizures constantly and shit. He's disgusting. Jeff the Drunk don't have that much longer, right? And usually, you agree because you have a Stern Show person to a whack packer. We lose a whack packer every couple years, and we haven't lost one in a couple years.
Yeah, it's time.
So we're due for a whack pack death. My last is a guy I have no fucking clue who he is, but he's on death's door and he's only 41, so I got to put you on my list, Ron. Ron Burrow. He is a famous rugby player over in England who came down with ALS during the prime of his career and now is withered away to nothing. And they push him out in front of the crowds, and he can't even talk or anything.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah,
just sits there like that. It looks real bad. So poor guy. Rob's not going to make it. 41 years old with 2 kids. It's sad, but at least when you die, Rob, you can know that some fat guy in Cincinnati got 59 points on his death pool. All right. That's my death pool, guys.
A lot of ALS
and
on
let's
there.
just say I have a championship under my belt. I got a belt. It's up on the mantle somewhere. All right. I was the original winner of the death pool, and then we've had Daddy White followed up with 2 years of destruction.
Daddy White's the reigning champion.
Yeah, no, he's pretty badass at this game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I hate to give him credit for anything, but it is what it is.
It is.
All right, did you want to read yours? You want me to read yours?
No, go ahead.
You don't have it right in front of you. All right, number 1, you got Shannon Doherty, who is, by the way, and do I say your name right today, or did I get it wrong?
Yes, you got it right.
Okay, I'm going to fuck it up later, though. I change it every time I say it. She's only 51 years old. She's been sick for a long time. She has the cancers. She is also winning. She has 6 people that mentioned her.
Well, because right now she's been in the news lately, and I was scared about a lot of people being on there. Mm-hmm. She's literally planning the guest list of her funeral.
Yeah, but you know what? 5 days ago, and I saw this last night when I was looking, 5 days ago, a news article released that she found the miracle drug that's making progress on her brain cancer.
RSO
and
oil.
It's been a complete miracle. She didn't say it was that.
Well, she also has breast cancer, and she had another kind of cancer.
It's some kind of infusion that gets in there and breaks the barrier down in her brain that's not allowing the chemotherapy to get to the cancer cells.
Well, don't get me wrong. I hope she's
lives. Pulling through, man.
I hope she does.
Shannon's making another year.
I don't want anybody to die.
Dude. They're going to make another 90210.
Yeah. I don't wish death upon anybody, as we say that every single time we do this death pool.
Or is she the other one?
She was 90210.
I know there's 2 of them.
Yeah, she was 90210.
All right, number 2, creepy ass Crispin Glover. He's 59. There's nothing wrong with him.
There's nothing wrong with him. But I saw a thing about him, and apparently every year he gets crazier. And I'm thinking, like, they say he was suicidal for a long time. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had an acting gig in forever. My prediction is eventually the money just fucking runs out. He says, "What the fuck am I doing here?" And he offs himself. That's my guess.
It could happen. I mean, Crispin Glover's suicide. You know, we've thought of I didn't realize. Next year I'm going to put more effort in. Fuck you, Jason. All right. Anyways, number 3, Toby Keith.
Toby Keith. He's in bad shape, man.
I didn't know he was that old. I didn't know he's in his 60s.
Yeah, he is. Toby Keith has had stomach cancer for 3 years. I think he was diagnosed right after COVID. But the reason I put him on my list, I saw him on stage. He did this performance, and he had this long fucking trench coat on and blah, blah, blah. But then they did an interview with him afterwards. The guy is a skeleton. There's literally nothing left.
I got a lot of hate in my heart for Toby Keith. I feel like he was one of those guys that really contributed to the country music changing from what it was in the 70s and 80s to what it is nowadays. I always think Garth Brooks is that official crossover point, but Garth Brooks still held a little bit, I don't know, there's something about that young country movement back in the day, and that's why I hear Toby Keith is old, and I'm like, he's young country to me, but I realize I'm fucking old. So, when he came out, though, that he was part of that movement, and he was the beginning of that rise of that style of country.
Well, they wanted country to be in the mainstream.
That poppy shit that was in the mainstream.
Now, and it's more in the mainstream now than it was.
Toby Keith was a little bit more hillbilly than the people that came after him. But still, he was, to me, he kind of represents that beginning of when country started to really suck.
See, now that didn't bother me because I think there's a lot of good country music.
Yeah, we disagree on these.
See, I like all genres, you know that. But Toby Keith,
so do I, but
at least he's a real one. Mm-hmm. The one that says, he's from fucking born and raised in some little farm in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? He's not one of these guys that go, hey, I couldn't make it as a rock star. I'm from L.A., but I'm going to go ahead and become a country star, and I'll put on a cowboy hat and boots, and I'll sing about shit that I don't know anything about. That's the country that I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but that style of music kind of started with him to me. I don't know if that's even accurate, but I still hold hate for him. So when he dies this year, I won't care. All right? Fuck you, Toby Keith. High pitch Eric. Guys, you know what, though? Toby Keith ain't going to give a shit when I die. So people hear that and go, oh, you're an asshole. Fuck you. Toby Keith don't care when I died.
Although the one thing I will say about the interview,
yeah,
he wasn't his asshole self. He was humbled now, and he
dying.
was, yeah.
All right, next up, High Pitch Eric. For you guys that don't know, he is from another whack packer of Stern Show fame, and he's the man.
He's my first or second favorite. Him and Stuttering John have always been my favorite, but High Pitch, the time they tried to get him laid with the hooker and all that, but I saw him recently, and he always had that one belly where he's like skinny everywhere else, and he just got this belly. Now it's 10 times the size. There's no way that his heart just isn't going to explode any day now.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he should be alive. So,
No.
and he doesn't take care of himself or go to a doctor or do anything he's
Fuck
supposed
no.
to do. I remember him saying he had like 6 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every morning for breakfast. That guy's the man. One of my favorite bits ever was the Craptacular on Stern. And that's where they put Shuley and somebody else in High Pitch Eric's house and somebody else's house. I don't remember the other person.
Okay.
And they had to weigh their shit for the day.
Oh, you told
either
me.
the day or the week to see who could shit the most in a week. And apparently Eric just put out just giant loads of shit. And this poor
Hey, I got 9 pounds.
yeah, and this poor guy had to weigh his poop. Like that was his job for the week. Number 5, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas is
79 years old.
Yeah, I think that's probably my oldest one.
Yeah.
He's also has cancer, remission, whatever.
He's had cancer forever. He's the guy famous for getting that pussy eating cancer. Remember?
Yeah. But the thing about it is, I saw him a month ago doing an interview, and you would swear he was his dad, Kirk Douglas. He's not Michael Douglas anymore. He's a fucking really old man. I think it's just kind of
79, dude.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when he was 73, he didn't look 73.
Yeah.
He still looked like Gordon Gekko from Wall Street. Now he looks fucking old. Sorry, Mike, you made the list.
Sorry, Mike.
I didn't mean, I like Michael Douglas, good movies, but he's on the list.
Yeah, I could see it. That's definitely part of. Yeah, you could die. Perry Farrell. I didn't really see this one coming.
I thought Perry Farrell should have died 20 years ago.
Why?
First of all, because he's never weighed more than 120 pounds.
But you're looking at it as a
And
bad thing.
I see heroin guy mixed drugs with skinny guy equals heart attack. Now I'm seeing him, and he looks like he's gotten all this fucking work done on his face, whether he has or he hasn't. It just looks to me like, hey, we found Perry Farrell in bed today. We have no idea why, but he's.
I don't know. I see Perry Farrell as a guy that probably wakes up every day and fucking meditates for an hour and does an hour of yoga and stuff. And I know you see him as just like a little skinny guy, which he is, but we're looking at it by like American standards where we're not healthy people.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
know.
think if you were to put him in front of a doctor, especially a doctor 80 years ago, they go, this is a great, perfect health guy. Nowadays, we look at him like, oh, he looks like he's about to die because he doesn't have an
Perry
ounce of
Farrell
fat
was
on him.
my guest guy. He was one of my guest guys.
Yeah.
I've just honestly thought,
I mean, I don't know what he's even doing, so.
Jane's Addiction still doing anything?
Oh, is Jane's Addiction still playing songs? Yeah, I guess they still tour every once in a while. Playing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing
I guess
that.
he's still doing music. I don't know. Perry Farrell was never a person in my life. He just existed. He's a weirdo. I appreciated his weirdness, but I was never really into any of his music. Jane's Addiction has some all right songs, but I never got into Porno for Pyros or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. Ric Flair, 74 years old, and he does look like shit.
And he's looking like shit every time I see him, like a month later. He just put on 5 years.
Oh,
Rick.
he's still an alcoholic, too.
And he had that Netflix thing called Woo! And I saw him, and I'm just like, half the time he would talk, and his face would like stick. He'd go, I was a wrestler for 30 years before I won and he's doing this. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on
Yeah,
here?
he's in bad shape, man. And he's still like a heavy alcoholic. The dude's been I'm not talking about just having a couple
Yeah.
beers. Like, he's had a bottle a day for like 40 years.
Forever. And the thing
40
about it
years
is
straight.
that I'm convinced, wrestling is fake and we all know it, but those guys' bodies go through fucking hell
Wrestling
every
is,
day.
I see, I don't like, I'm starting to turn into a
All right,
wrestler.
let's say wrestling is scripted.
Yes, there you
But
go.
the whole point is getting thrown off a top rope through a table. That's not
No,
fake.
they're
That's real.
all fucked
and
up.
that's what I'm saying. Their bodies have taken so much of a beating, and none more than his.
Well, I know, and Flair still comes from that generation too, where they were actually hitting each other over the head with chairs.
That weren't cut down the middle. Yeah.
They were literally smacking each other in the head with
Yeah,
chairs.
and that's the whole thing. It's like, wrestling is scripted. We know who's going to win, but that doesn't mean that these guys aren't fucking beating the shit out of their bodies every single night.
Yeah, go take a regular fold-up chair and smack yourself in the head with it and tell me how that feels.
Yeah.
I mean, people act like...
Dive off a 10-foot turnbuckle and land on a table until it shatters. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, it
land
hurts.
on a regular-ass table. Those tables aren't special.
It
Those
fucking
are just
hurts.
tables. You know, if you put... You know, they're not great tables. It's
Yeah.
not like they go out and spend the best money on them, but they're normal tables. Yeah, fuck you. Wrestling hurts. Ric Flair's going to probably die. John Travolta is 69. This is why I don't think he's going to die this year, because you know John Travolta is going to love his 69th year. He's just out getting fucking...
Yeah, but he didn't turn 69 on the first.
He's getting rubbing tugs. He's enjoying number 69.
His son died. His wife died.
Balls on it. He don't care about his wife. That was a beard and a half.
No, see, I think he did
They
really,
were probably-
truly love his wife.
Yeah, probably. They're best friends.
Yeah, and you know, she's been dead a while. But his son, when he died, it threw him in this horrible thing. He's doing movies again,
Not good
but
ones.
he just doesn't feel like he wants to be here.
He's not dancing. He's not doing this shit.
Right. He did a commercial as Santa Claus recently,
Fuck
but he
you,
did a
John
little
Travolta.
of that dancing.
John Travolta's one of those dudes. I never got the obsession with him. Even when they're like, "Ooh, he's a dancer," I never saw him as a good dancer.
Well, he was never
Usher's a good dancer. Fuck you, John Travolta.
with Travolta. It was like he made some really bad movies with not great acting. But they turned into cult classics like Urban Cowboy and Saturday Night Fever and all that. And he ended up, when he made, they say his career just took this giant turn when he did Pulp Fiction.
I was gonna say, if Quentin Tarantino didn't exist, John Travolta would have died with Urban Cowboy.
He would have.
You would have never heard that dude again.
Well,
right?
he
You
made
might-
movies after that. He did Face Off. And
No, but Face Off was done after Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So he had a revival because of the Pulp Fiction thing.
But a huge revival.
Yeah.
It took him from here to
No,
like
I
A-list.
remember. Like I
Yeah?
was a huge John Travolta guy because I was a huge Pulp Fiction guy when
Yeah.
it came out. But I was only like 16 years old.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, and I never got back into his old stuff. It's not like as a 16-year-old punk kid, I'm gonna go, all right, time to watch Grease.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck you. That's not gonna happen. I've
Yeah.
never even seen those, and nor do I want to. Number 9, Cory Feldman. I think this is personal.
You know what I
just
like?
fucking hate Cory Feldman.
Well, I think here's what I don't hate Cory
Yeah,
Feldman.
you do, dude.
I
You
hate
go
the fact
after old
that
Cory.
he pawns himself off as a fucking a singing act.
He's a
He's
douche.
not. He's a douchebag.
He's a
And the
douche.
thing about it is, you can look all over YouTube at some of his live concerts. Half the time he stops it in the middle of the song and he'll say right to the bass player, "You were off. You were late there." And the whole crowd's going, "What the fuck? I didn't notice it. Just keep going."
Yeah.
And he stops and, "Oh, you got to start this over." And then he comes out like, you know
Lord
what?
Hill did
One
that
day he's
shit.
going to realize, hey, you know what? I've been really living on this molestation thing since I was a kid, and I'm really out there pushing myself. I suck. I'm not good.
See, I still
What's
think he
the point
don't
of
live on
being
the
here?
molestation thing. I think he's living on the Goonies and the Lost Boys and the whatever. You know, I think he's living on those.
I think people
Stand
are
by me.
buying his tickets because of the molestation.
I know. I don't think so. I think they're just laughing at him. Number 10, Hunter Biden. I don't see it, bud. I think Biden's gonna make it. I think old Hunter is gonna live through. Him and fucking 10 years from now, him and Trump Jr. are gonna hook up and form like ultimate.
Well, let's not
talk show or something.
Forget the fact that
hey,
he's
would
probably,
you watch that, by the way?
Oh, fuck yes. I
Trump
would.
Jr. and fucking
Hunter
Biden
Fuck
Jr.
yes, I would.
or whatever his fuck name is, like
Every
on a,
episode
on a show. Yeah, that'd
I'd
be
talk
great.
about it on the games.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see what Hunter did?
They
Let's not
just
forget
doing
the fact
mountains of coke together.
that he's
just
probably
chatting.
still doing an 8-ball every day.
Good for him.
What I'm saying is that's going to get you eventually.
But he's not in bad shape. He's not a fat dude.
You don't have to be
True.
if you do that much fucking cocaine.
Well,
One day your heart can just say, you know what, I'm done.
And you might get that fentanyl eventually.
Plus, all this shit that Joe, his dad's been sweeping under the rug and the media keeps trying to push it forward. One day it's going to go full Epstein on him and it's going to go, hey, we've got all this.
I don't think
you
Joe's-
fucking did it,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And he's going to be like, well, let me take a bump and I'll think about it. Ooh, that was the one. And he's done.
I don't think Joe's sweeping anything under the rug. I think Joe's fucking having a hard time drinking soup, and everybody underneath of him is doing all this shit. But either way,
Very true.
I think poor Joe is just.
How old's Hunter? Do we know?
He's 53. So that is your list. Good luck. Your list is a little bit younger than normal, where my list was a little bit older than normal, but we'll see. All right, number 3 entrant into the death pool is Big Dumb Alex.
Duh.
There he is. He still exists, guys. My boy Alex. No, he's not dumb. He just looks it. All right. Dick Cheney is his number 1. He's popped on 3 different people's lists. He's been on my list in the past. At this point, I think this heartless bastard's going to live forever. I think I put him on my list 2 years in a row.
He's 90, isn't he?
He's 82. He's a lot
82.
younger than you actually think he is because his face has been
I mean, the guy, shot somebody in the fucking head, and he still,
He
didn't go to
doesn't
jail.
he doesn't have a heartbeat, dude.
No, he doesn't.
Dick Cheney's literally doesn't have a heartbeat. He's a walking zombie. The guy's gonna live forever. He's probably gonna start another war somehow.
Yep.
We're
Oh, he's still got power in Washington somewhere.
Oh, I guarantee
He's
he
got
does.
influence. You bet your ass he
All
does.
right, number 2, Alex has Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I believe he's been sick for a while. I had him
He
in my
is.
list, I believe, last year. He made it. He's 76. He's 7 foot tall. You don't see many 7 foot tall 76-year-olds.
No, but you know what's funny about him?
He seems to be a health freak, though.
I watched him do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
He is fucking ridiculous intelligent.
Oh, yeah. He's always been like that.
Ridiculous
He's always been like that. Apparently, he's a real dick, too. But, yeah.
Oh, he's a dick, too?
Well, that Showtime series on HBO really painted him off as an asshole in there. And then, there was a lot of interviews and stuff about that and then whether it was true or not. And it was half and half. Obviously, he denied it. And there was a couple guys that denied it. But there's a lot of people to say,
he
was
when
definitely
he was
a dick.
playing, he was a dick.
Yeah.
They say now he's
that's when it was
found peace.
Yeah,
you know
fair
what I mean?
enough, fair enough.
But I'm listening to this guy talk, and he's just one of those guys that, you play fucking Jeopardy with, and he answers every question before Alex.
He's a very intelligent
Looks really
dude.
smart.
This one I'm not going to be able to pronounce because I've never been able to pronounce it. Martina Navratilova.
Yeah, she's sick.
She's 66.
I had her last year.
Does she have
She has cancer.
from Licking Box also, like Douglas?
No, I don't think it's from licking box. She had breast cancer.
I just assume that all cancer is from Licking Box.
I wish.
And I don't.
Ooh, I wonder if there's a butt-eating cancer.
You're
I have
done
those
for.
bubbles all over my face and stuff like
Boil.
that.
he got,
Martina,
he got butt boils all over his chin.
Martina was, I hate to say this, supposed to, but she was kind of supposed to go last year.
Yeah, she's been supposed to die for a while now. We'll see. She's 66. Christina Applegate, 51. I know she had the tit cancer a while back. She got
And
them
now
taken
she's
off.
got something else.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she's got
Poor girl.
either MS or one of those. Yeah, she's in bad shape.
That's what happens when you grow up and your dad's a shoe salesman. You'll catch all those weird foot diseases and shit.
Yeah, but that wasn't real.
Oh, what?
It wasn't real. Al Bundy wasn't her dad.
Her brother Bud told me that.
Yeah,
What-
she
what's
had
Bud up to?
had a double mastectomy, and then I think it's MS or lupus or something. She's got something else.
Yeah, she's going to die. Shannon Doherty again. Dick Vitale. He's 84. I had him on my list 2 years ago.
I don't want Dick Vitale to die.
I don't like Dick Vitale.
I love Vitale.
Really?
Love him.
Oh, diaper daddy, baby.
Love it. Love
Oh.
That's like saying you don't like. That's like saying you don't like Berman. Who doesn't like Chris Berman?
This guy, back. Fuck you.
I
Get
love.
out of here.
I love Berman.
I don't like him.
Love Berman. Love Vitale.
I don't like a lot of those old school sports announcers or
I
that
love
kind of thing where they had this little thing that they say, or like the Larry the Cable Guy of sports announcers. I don't like it. Like, it just shut the fuck up. I don't
dig
like when you have a little catchphrase.
Vitale. I mean, he's
I liked
getting
Vitale
older.
when I was younger. I did like him when I was younger, and I get that. As I got older, I was just like, well, this guy's fucking annoying. He just yells the whole time.
Yeah, that's what makes me laugh.
Okay, fair enough. Well, he's 84. He may die. Gary Busey, 79. Busey's going to live forever. Go fuck yourself.
Busey will be fucking doing this podcast when he's 100.
Number 8, Chris. Is it Everett?
Chris Everett Lloyd. And we got two tennis players here.
Yeah, it's a tennis player.
Chris Everett.
Oh, it's Everett. Okay.
Christina Everett,
I always
yeah.
thought it was Everest for some reason.
No, it's Everett. Evert.
Yeah, because she was Martina's rival back in the day,
yeah.
right?
It was
So
those
he's
two.
got both the rivalries on there. She's 69. I did look her up. She was originally part of my research or whatever, and I saw that she was sick and everything. But from all the reports, it looks like she's sick, but not there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
What
next
is she?
year. Maybe
What's her
June.
sickness? Do you know?
I think it's cancer also. But I think she's one of those ladies, like a lot of these women, that get cancer 6 times and beat it every fucking time.
When I was
So-
a kid, she was on my spank bank.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, she
I don't
was hot.
remember. This guy is the second most listed person on the list. Who's your guess that that's going to be?
Second most listed. Oh God, I don't know.
Bruce Willis.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Everybody's putting Bruce on it. He's
Lifespan
68.
on,
The
5 to
lifespan's a little
13
bit,
years.
Yeah, the
It's-
lifespan's a lot longer than you guys think. I think it's just because he's such in the news and they're seeing him waste away as far as his memory, but he's still physically there.
They show him around his family. Yeah, he's not talking to him, but he's partying and doing all
Yeah.
he ain't dying.
I mean, he eventually, but Bruce Willis isn't a young man. He's 68. So yeah,
And the thing about it is, don't care what you say, don't care what your movie likings is, Bruce Willis fan here.
no, I like Bruce Willis. I put Bruce Willis because he will not die hard. He's going to live to 75.
Yeah,
I think
he
so.
wouldn't die until Armageddon.
Yeah, I think he's got another 7 years in him.
See, I did it
Nice.
too.
Yeah, I like
Thank
all
you.
right. And it would be a misery if this one dies. But Kathy Bates,
Kathy Bates ain't dying.
75. She's going to shove that fried green tomato right up your asshole there, Alex. She
Yeah,
ain't going
and, I'll
anywhere.
tell you,
She's
that'll be-
75, but she's fat. You can't be fat forever. I will say, though, that women can be fatter longer than men.
She's not.
I don't know why.
She's not gigantic fat. She's thick and always has been, but she's not obese. She's not morbidly obese.
She's been morbidly obese.
She has, but then she
balloons and goes up, but that's not healthy for your heart. Either way, she's 75. I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on with her.
Hey, I'll get blindsided by that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think...
Hey, I did it.
Yeah, good one.
Blindsided.
Yeah. All right. That's it for old Alex. Next up's Get Pussy. Get Pussy sent his in. Of course, went straight to my spam because Get Pussy has weird email addresses.
He does, too.
So I always have to catch it. He might have emailed me since then. Who knows? Number one on his list is Hannibal Lecter. Anthony Hopkins, 86.
Hopkins. That would be a shame.
I think he is in poor health, though. I think there is something going on there. I'm not positive.
I saw him on one of those things, but he's one of those he's been in poor health for a long time.
He's 86. Next is a man that was listed 3 times, old Dirty Harry Clint Eastwood, 93 years old. I've had him on my list in the past. He is due at any point. I just don't care for 7 points.
I think Clint hits 100.
You think so?
Fuck yes, I do.
He was talking to chairs 10 years ago. I'm not sure. Next up.
And 5 years ago, he was making fucking some of the best movies ever.
True. Next up, and this lady who has been on the list for years now, she's only listed once this year, though, is Selma Blair. She has MS. She's had MS for a long time.
God, I love her.
Pretty girl.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but I don't think she's going anywhere yet.
I don't either.
I think she's one of those people that are going to live with MS for a while. I think people overlook the MS, like I said. I know sometimes it's worse than others, but if you're already 4 or 5 years deep and you don't really, I think you'll live a few more. I don't know. I think someone better stay for a while.
I lost my sister to MS.
I know.
But, and I know that you can live a long time with it. My sister was in poor health for other reasons, but the MS wasn't.
What killed her?
No, it didn't look like it was going to either.
Yeah, it didn't help.
It made her life miserable, but it's not going to kill you.
No, I have a friend with it, and she got diagnosed a couple years ago, and mentally she's declining a little bit as far as her sharpness is concerned. But otherwise, it sucks. But it's not. Typically, it doesn't kill you,
right.
And if it does, it's a long time. Maybe some other complications.
Yeah.
All right, next up, where am I at? Get Pussy was Bruce Willis. All right, we've been through Bruce Willis. John Daly. Old fat John Daly. He's still out there playing golf. Oh, he's going to die.
And drinking a 12-pack every fucking
die.
day.
I think he still has another 10 years left.
I think he smokes probably 2 packs a day.
Yeah. Now John Daly's
case of beer.
He's not making it to 70, but I think he'll at least make it to 60. He's at 57 right now. And I know that John Daly looks like a big fat tub of lard, but you have to be in somewhat shape just to walk a golf course that often.
He rides now.
Oh, does he?
He doesn't play in a lot of tournaments. When he plays in tournaments, he walks, but most of the time he rides.
I was going to say, he's just riding.
But he still hits the ball 350 fucking yards.
That's always been his thing, dude. He's like the Babe Ruth, just a big fat guy that just clobbered.
And it's actually funny because when he came out and he was hitting the ball like that, I saw him do it at the Phoenix Open. I was standing right next to the tee box, and I went, holy fuck. And now they're all doing it.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is he just did it on pure fat power.
Oh, yeah.
Where the rest of them are all doing special exercises and practicing their whole life to get there.
Lessons.
He's just a big
that,
fatty that just could clobber the ball.
Yeah.
Next up, he has also Steve Mongo McDonald, and then he has Doherty. Next after that is Buzz Aldrin, 94 years old.
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time. You're fucking that old.
National hero, buddy.
This one,
quit wishing death on the first guy to walk on the moon.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. That was fake, but either way. The next one, and this is on 3 people's list, and I just don't get it. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen this year. It's 1 point.
Okay.
Jimmy Carter. He's 99.
Oh, yeah.
You get 1 point. You're on the board.
Well,
if your goal is just to get on the board, maybe you've never been on the board and you want to get on board, which I think maybe some of these people that haven't do. I know Get Pussy's been on the board before. But either way,
I think personally, I think Jimmy Carter dies in the next month or 2.
Yeah, dude, any time now. He's in hospice care.
His wife just got buried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got nothing to live for anymore.
He's in a hospice care. He's
and his wife just died.
Yeah, he's gone. But either way, what the fuck? 1 point. 3 people have him. All right, next, Val Kilmer. 4 people have Val Kilmer. He was the third most listed. Kilmer. That's how I do it.
There's no O in there.
There isn't mine. Fuck him. He don't deserve it. I used to call it Kilmer, and then he couldn't talk right. So I'm like, fuck you. You can't say it right. I'm not going to say it right.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah. That guy seems to be...
he's a mutant, but I don't think he's dying.
He's looked like that for years, though.
He looks rough, man. He looks like Mickey Rourke with a good haircut. You know what I mean?
He does remind me of Mickey Rourke with a couple worse decisions.
He does.
And Mickey Rourke don't look too damn good himself.
I don't think Val Kilmer's dying, though.
I don't know if he does. He's 64, so it's a significant amount of points. But
is it throat cancer? Or...
At 1 point, I don't think he has a throat anymore. Can you get throat cancer without a throat?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I don't think he dies, though. Obviously, he's going to die someday, but I don't think it's this year.
All right, next up is our boy Shingo. He has the old jizz stain Maxwell. 62. I think if she would have died, if she would have been murdered, she ain't going to die. If she would have been murdered, I think it would have already happened.
Yeah, and I think she's just going to sit in jail and mind her own business.
I think Jizz Stain has shown that she's a loyal fucking person and is not going to tell on all the creeps. So she's going to stay alive for that. Next, Shannon Doherty. After that, Bam Margera. I had him on my list last year. I really expect him to die last year. Now I'm going to think he's going to last a little bit longer. He actually had an all right year, only like 1 or 2 relapses. So, for him, that's pretty good.
His is mostly booze, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mostly booze. And, he's got that big fat booze face. But booze don't typically, unless you make bad decisions while on the booze by itself usually takes a while to kill you.
Cirrhosis.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually, but he's only 44.
But, I could see him easily pulling a Ryan Dunn, getting behind the wheel of a car and going 100 miles an hour.
For sure. I could see him doing it on purpose for Ryan Dunn or something, in his drunk mind. Who knows? Yeah. So, he's definitely a wild card. I don't expect him to live past 50 probably, but I don't know. Dick Cheney, we've talked. Taryn Manning. I didn't know who Taryn Manning was.
I don't.
I looked her up. It's a girl. She was on Sons of Anarchy, and apparently she is a fuck-up. Like, real bad alcoholic, talks about suicide all the time, only 45 years old. That could be a good pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard of her,
points.
But she is available to be picked. Like I said, she was on Sons of Anarchy, a couple other shows, some actress. Has some fucking issues. Next, Val Kilmer.
Not happening.
All right. Then we got this guy was listed twice. He's only 27 years old. People are always expecting him to be murdered. The Takeshi 6ix9ine guy.
Oh, yeah.
Takashi.
Yeah.
Old 69 guy. I know nothing about this dude. I've listened to his music a couple times. It sucks. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not a child. So apparently someone's going to kill him. Next up, Tim Curry. Tim Curry's looked like shit for years. He's on this list every single year. I don't know. What does he have? Does he have Parkinson's or does he have ALS?
I think it's Parkinson's.
Okay. I think it's Parkinson's too. Parkinson's, you tend to live a little bit longer than the ALS, I've noticed.
I think Tim Curry's dead.
Is Tim Curry dead?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Shingo had a dead person last year, so if he has another dead person, that is funny, but I don't think Tim Curry's dead. I think when I looked his age up last night, I would have noticed. Next on his list is Gunna. Gunna is a rapper. Gunna apparently is a snitch. Gunna could be killed at any moment. I don't know shit about the dude. Don't want to know shit about the guy, but...
Hey, but he's not looking good.
No, boy, he's looked like that forever.
Yeah.
But snitches... they get stitches, and I think Gunna's going to get shot, or at least Shingo thinks it. I don't know.
You know what?
Maybe apologize.
He's one of those, like, T.I. that purposely pisses people off.
Yeah, I don't know
what I mean?
I do not know him. Last on his list is Britney Spears. Old pillhead Spears. I think a couple people had her. No, dude, it could happen, but I don't know.
Not anymore. She got that fucking liberty from the fucking parents a couple years ago.
She's still crazy.
She's crazy, but crazy don't kill you.
No, but drugs do. She has pill eyes. She still posts videos on Instagram. Her eyes are all like this. She's out of her mind.
I'd still slap a child to roll around with
she's,
that.
She's on drugs. So it's always a possibility when you're on drugs. Who knows? You might get the wrong drugs, might mix them wrong. Who knows? This next list is by a new entrant into the death pool. We never had him before. In fact, he's never participated in the show, but we do know that he listens every time. Shout out to our boy, Nick Schulte. All right, first on his list is Mitch McConnell. 81 years old, looks a little loopy.
Hey. Hope you're right, pal.
Yeah, I gotta fuck him. I do too. Next on his list is David Allen Coe. We haven't seen him at the casino in a while. We used to see him every so often.
He's in a wheelchair
and he was
now.
pretty bad off when we used to see him, and we haven't seen him in a couple years, so I can only imagine it's getting worse.
You know what pissed me off about that guy? I met him from being in the casino and stuff. He never even called me by my name.
Oh, yeah? He left cum stains on my pillow. All right, every next stain. Fucking in the butt. Fucking in the butt.
I'd like to fuck the shit out of you.
Down.
I'd like to fuck the shit out of you.
Down.
He had some good tunes.
Hey, if you take off all those N-word songs, that was a good album.
The song was called Fucking in the Butt.
Yeah, Cum Stains on My Pillow was an actual song.
I know it was.
Great fucking song. But then he also had some awful racist songs on that
But
album.
you know what's so funny about him? A lot of those people, like his most racist song, he had 3 that were like, oh my God.
Bad ones, dude.
But first of all, he claims he's not racist. He
Shut
said
up.
he wrote
You
him in
can't
prison.
do that song and not be racist.
But,
even rating in prison doesn't excuse that.
But the one song that people associate with him called N-Word Hating Me. Mm-hmm. That wasn't him. That was a guy named Johnny Rebel. He didn't even sing that. Everybody over the years has just said, that's David Allan Coe. Well, it wasn't.
That's not the song that I put with him, though. I've never even heard of that song. I don't even remember the songs off the top of my head, but there's
the
a couple
one you're
other
talking
ones.
about is N-Fucker, it's called.
That's one of them.
Yeah,
there's a couple.
that one's really
they're
bad.
Really bad, dude.
But like I said, he had one. Everybody labeled N Hating Me as him, and it wasn't him. It was Johnny Rebel.
No, Johnny Rebel had a couple of those kind of songs, too. He was the same kind of piece of shit. Anyways. Alec Baldwin is this number 3. Alec Baldwin is 65.
I think he's going to jail.
He might kill himself. I think your chance there is him offing himself.
I think he's going to jail.
He might. He probably should.
I don't think he should at all.
Really?
He was a fucking actor in a movie who handed somebody a gun. He didn't prepare the gun. He's not the prop guy.
He didn't follow the protocol. They got a certain protocol when you're using that kind of stuff,
you
and he
have
didn't
to
follow
literally
it. So, I mean,
check
technically,
it. Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
That's him being like lazy.
Yeah. Well, it is, but
I don't know.
He didn't shoot the camera operator on purpose.
You're right though. I don't believe he did the crime on purpose, but
Right.
still you can't accidentally run someone over and get away with it either. So.
You're right. You're 100% right.
So who knows? Next up is Clint Eastwood. We've had that listed. Ozzy. Ozzy's only list this year is on Nick's. He's 75.
It's gonna die.
How about Ozzy?
Ozzy's dying, but. I
don't
think
know.
Ozzy's one of those guys
He's
that,
been on my list before. I think he's been on your list before.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing about Ozzy is him and his family just moved back to England. They're trying to just relax, blah, blah, blah. They're relaxing in the doctors in the peace and quiet. He might live another 5 years.
He might. You never know. I don't know about Ozzy. Next up is Buzz again. Buzz Aldrin. So that was 2 that he's listed on. I didn't have him. Warren Buffett. 93. He has a very old list.
He has too much money.
Yeah, Warren Buffett's a billionaire, but yeah, like I said, $1 billion or not, 93 can kill you.
Yeah, but he's got the best doctors on the planet.
For sure.
There's no way.
Next up is...
I mean, there is a way, obviously. You know what I mean? He's 93.
He
like
still
you
runs
said.
his... Does he? You think he still runs his Half-Shire thing? You think he's
They
still
said-
out there picking out the stocks and
Yes.
stuff?
They said he still works every day.
That's like one of the only stocks I continue to invest in because they always go up.
And I think if Warren Buffett ends up in the hospital, like, oh, Warren Buffett was hospitalized today, those incredible doctors will keep him alive at least a couple years. That's what I think.
Yeah, you could be right about that. Just enough to drain some more money out of him.
Right,
Nothing
exactly.
Else. I mean, the guy, he wouldn't even notice. Bill Cosby, 86 years old.
Always a possibility.
Always a possibility. It's not going to be suicide. He feels no shame for whatever he did.
None whatsoever.
But he looks like shit, and so he could still die. Jimmy Carter, 99 years old. Enjoy your 1 point. And then Willie Nelson, 90 years old. I don't want it.
Nobody wants it.
No one wants him to die.
Black people, white people, Hispanic people, everyone in the world loves Willie Nelson.
Yeah, everybody respects Willie Nelson.
He's a cool dude. He's a laid-back hippie who likes to smoke weed and doesn't fuck with anybody.
And I think he stopped smoking weed a while ago because
he does edibles now.
Yeah. All right.
But Willie, nobody wants Willie to die.
This is another new entry this year. Thank you, Schulte, for writing in. And now this new one is Hairless Girl. Now, Hairless Girl is a young lady, and she has some pics on here who I have no fucking clue who they are. And I looked them up, and I didn't do too much, but enough to where I can tell you at least what they do.
Okay.
Her number 1 is Blueface. Blueface is a rapper. He's 27 years old, and from what I've kind of looked at, he's kind of an asshole. He's kind of a rabble-rouser, as they say. You know, he's the kind of guy that might get shot by a fellow gang member. He just got arrested last year for guns. He's shooting guns all the time. He's still in the streets, it sounds like. Blueface is out there.
That's probably a
Blueface
good
is
guess
out there
then.
getting it. You know what I mean? So that might be a good one. And that 27, man, that's 73 points. That's
a winner.
That's a big one right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a winner.
Your next one, go fuck yourself, Danny DeVito. He's not going anywhere.
Fuck
He's only
no.
79. There's nothing wrong with him. He's always looked that fucking dumb. Maybe you're new to this game.
He's looked that dumb since the 80s.
Yeah. All right. The next one is that Tekashi 6ix9ine guy again. And then we got King Charles III. There was a couple people that had him. King Charles is 75. I don't know if there's anything wrong with him. He's a fucking king, though, so I'm sure he's getting some pretty good medical care, even if there is something wrong with him.
You know what?
That royalty always seems to live
all
forever.
he's got is fucking kids that don't seem to appreciate him. But I don't think he's sick.
He's probably getting the Vince McMahon treatment in the back room, just getting blown all day long, all right?
In Buckingham Palace. He's good.
He's good. I think he's going to live. The next entrance is the youngest at 18 years old.
Ooh.
This person thinks Honey Boo Boo Child is going to die.
Not a chance.
You don't think old Honey Boo Boo is? I
No
looked her up.
way.
She's just a chunky chick now. There's
Yeah.
nothing else wrong with her. Her sister died last year, the pretty one.
Yeah.
The oldest one was kind of...
She died?
Yeah, she was a smoke show. She had some kind of cancer, though, and died.
Oh, okay.
But that was the oldest sister. Honey Boo Boo just turned 18. She's chubby. She doesn't even look obese. She just looks chubby. I don't see it.
I don't either.
You know, who cares if everybody in her family either is
And there's
a convict
probably
or a fucking horrible person?
There's probably some money there for her.
Oh, I'm sure they made some money. They had to, right?
And Mama June, the fat mother, I think she's lost a bunch of weight. And,
She's still ugly as sin. but,
horrible looking, yeah. But Honey Boo Boo's not going anywhere.
Next up is Yoko Ono, 90 years old.
Yeah.
She is apparently wheelchair bound. She's not looking good. 90 years old. I don't know.
And you know what?
Those old Asian ladies, though, can then live to be 110 and no one ever knew.
You know, it's pretty hard to, and I'm not a hippie, but I try to be, pretty free-thinking guy. But you broke up the Beatles, sweetheart.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter's next. She said won't make it till spring. She's probably right. Justin Bieber. She says overdose for sure. Hey, by the way, hairless girl, don't add your input. Shut the fuck up. Know your role. Shut your mouth. All right? Justin Bieber.
Not happening.
Not happening.
He's still on top of the world,
29 years old. I don't know of any beef. She said overdose. Does he have drug problems? I've never really known him for drug problems. I think he smoked some joints
If you
and
put
shit.
a thing on Facebook right now, hey, Justin Bieber's coming to Paul Brown Stadium, it sells out in an hour.
You think?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think he's the male
number
Taylor Swift
9
still.
is Rice Gum. Rice
Lost
Gum
me.
is 27 years old. Apparently,
Rapper?
Yeah, like a streamer, a YouTube rapper that apparently just does diss tracks and shit, making fun of other YouTubers.
It counts.
Some Asian dude. Yeah, whatever. It's a famous person in that world.
Yeah, it counts.
This you got to remember, we got now a person in that young generation. I think she's only like 22 years old or something like that. Hairless girl.
Yeah.
And their celebrities are like streamers and like shit like that. Like we're looking at like, who the fuck is that?
Well,
But they grew up watching YouTube. These are the people they watch.
Sucks
That's their TV.
about us is, I mean, first of all, we're a lot smarter than the young people today.
Yeah, they're idiots.
But if they hit any of them, we don't have a chance.
That is a problem.
That's the
If
problem.
Old Rice Gum gets killed.
Or the guy Blue Gums.
Yeah,
whatever.
Blue Gums. The whole Blue Waffle gets murdered.
Blue Waffle.
All right, the next, and I don't understand this outside of him looking like a fucking freak, is Cillian Murphy. He's 47. He's the star of Oppenheimer, Peaky Blinders, great actor. I don't
he's
know
about
why.
to win an Oscar. I'm saying he doesn't die.
Yeah, I don't know why she thinks he's going to die. I guess because he's always pale. Everybody always thinks this guy's sick because he's so pale and ghostly looking.
They said that about that Eddie Redmayne guy, and he won 4 Academy Awards in like 10 years.
All right, our girl Tiffany, she comes out fast with Robert Duvall, 93 years old.
Could happen. I'd hate to see it.
Could
He's
happen.
awesome.
Yeah, the only non-Italian in The Godfather.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, check. Gary Busey, check. Willie Nelson, check.
Hey, Tiffany, if your whole list dies, you'll have 20 points.
Well, Busey's only 79. All right, next she has Mick Mars, 72. Mick Mars has looked like shit for years.
You know what? Mick Mars could
He's
go
finally out of Motley
yesterday.
Crue. But I don't know if the thing that Mick Mars has doesn't kill you. It just makes your life miserable.
No, but I went to the Crew Fest in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Mars literally had to lean against something because he couldn't stand up that long.
That's his disease, though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
It don't kill you.
That was 2014.
But it don't kill you if it makes you frozen.
I think his body is just shutting down.
No, his disease makes his bones harden where he can't move his body. Your insides are still fine. It does not kill you. It just sucks.
He looks dead.
But he's 72 and he probably abused drugs. And he definitely abused alcohol. Next up, Mick Jagger. I don't see it.
No
For one
way.
thing, I think Mick Jagger has finally turned a corner where instead of going, he's that old, you go, he's that young? And I found out he's 80 and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
He's
about
only 80? I thought he was older at this point. So
I mean, when you think
he's still out there
Stones, aren't you
dancing and
automatically
shit.
going to go to what's his
Richards?
Richards,
Yeah, you would think. Man, Mick Jagger still has a six-pack, dude.
Yeah.
He's out there fucking getting big. Didn't he just have like a kid 2 years ago? He's still out impregnating girls.
Yeah, Mick Jagger's not going anywhere.
Then she has King Charles again. Hillary Clinton, 76 years old. Hillary's not going anywhere, is she? Maybe they kill her to get rid of some evidence, but I think that's too big.
I was just close to putting Bill on the list.
Bill, I see. Bill's getting old and he's looking shaky.
Hillary Clinton, I think she's at the point now where she realizes, hey, I'm pretty much done with politics. People don't trust me apparently for any job. You know what I mean? I lost the presidency twice, public humiliation. I could see her getting like dementia or something real fast, but I don't think that'll
giving
kill
up on
you.
life. Yeah, I don't
think that'll kill you.
Dick Cheney again, and then Dick Van Dyke, 98 years old. Enjoy your 2 points if it happens.
Yeah, and that could happen. But I'll tell you what, that motherfucker has been like in great shape since he was 20, and he still is.
Tiffany's going to have 9 out of 10 of these die, and then she's still going to get beat by Blueface. All right, that's kind of the way that one's looking. All right, Jimmy is next. Her lovely husband, Jimmy. He has Bob Uecker first. The Uke. I guess he's
Just a bit outside.
he's 90 years old.
I love Euchre.
We know he had a history with alcohol.
He did it on every movie.
Yeah,
he drank on every fucking movie.
We'll see. Next is the old Val Kilmer again. Then Vincent K. McMahon, 78 years old. He is in a load of shit right now.
With the N-word thing that he dropped?
No, that's not it. If you don't know about Vince McMahon stuff, we're going to find out because he's my asshole of the week. So we'll talk to it. We'll talk about it.
But did you see that video that's going around now where he said the N-word?
No, but that's
He said it in front of Booker T, and Booker T's like, what the fuck? But it was like, it was scripted. It was like an interview. We walked.
I remember Booker T got in, not trouble, but it was a thing. Booker T was the first person to say the N-word on wrestling.
Oh.
And I remember that was a thing. So I don't know if it was a play off
Yeah,
that.
well,
Maybe, I don't know.
Vince McMahon said it to a white guy.
That was he dressed like a gangster or something?
No, he was in his fucking wrestling outfit. And
Oh.
Vince McMahon came over trying to be cool.
I don't know.
and said,
I've never heard that, but there's so much stuff going on in Vince McMahon that I thought you would have been in tune to, but you're not. So it's gonna be fun to tell you about later.
I don't follow wrestling.
You don't have to. It's pretty national. Steven Tyler.
Not happening.
Not happening. 75. I'm guessing you're getting this because he canceled his most recent tour.
Because of his throat being sore and
that's
throat's
what they tell you though. It could be throat cancer for all we know. You know what I mean?
That would be out there if it was.
I'm just saying, like I see where he's coming from. I don't see it happening.
They say he broke his vocal cords. They actually broke. They tore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they said they didn't say anything about cancer. They said the overstrain literally caused tears and breaks in his vocal cords.
All right.
I would imagine that takes a long time to heal.
Probably. All right, next we got Bill Clinton. We've kind of discussed him. Jimmy and Tiffany are going after the Clintons. She has Hillary, he has Bill. Watch out, the Stokes are after the Clintons. That's the wrong couple to go after. You're going to end up dead on a fucking park bench. All right?
I mean, at least try to get some points, put Chelsea on the list. You know what I mean?
Joe Biden is next. He's at 81. He's not there. He's dead inside, but I don't think he's going to be dead outside anytime in the next couple years. Next up is Oprah. She balloons in weight. She's 70, but
she was almost on my list.
You know, the thing with Oprah and black women in general, black women tend to live a little bit longer than black. And I feel like with black people, for whatever reason, they either die in their 40s or 50s or they last to their 80s and 90s. There's no like middle, you know, you don't see many blacks dying in the 60s. It's like they live forever or they die super early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems the way it works.
You're either Left Eye or Roberta Flack.
Yeah. Bruce Willis is next. Eric Jensen. Eric Jensen is from The Walking Dead. He has colon cancer. He had some other kind of heart aneurysm a couple years ago. This guy's in horrible health for a long time. That could be a big pick. He's on two people's list. He's only 53.
Oh, 47 points there.
That could be a big one. Now, I did read it last night. He has colon cancer, but, you know, he claims the medicine's working and stuff, so we'll see. You know, none of these guys come out, though, and say, I'm going to die next week.
Right.
Diana Ross, number 10.
Yeah.
That's 79. Wait a minute, I'm on somebody else's. Never mind. I just fucked that up. All right. Ric Flair was his last one. Ric Flair was his last one. You had Ric Flair. I think two people had Ric Flair, maybe three, but we've talked about him. He does look close. Next up is our grand champion, Daddy White, the angel of death, Dr. Death himself, Daddy White. I'm sorry for everyone who's on this list.
Pay attention to the list, people.
All right. Vanessa Redgrave is first. She's 87. I don't know who the fuck that is.
She's an old actress.
Okay, I looked it up
English
last
actor,
night,
yeah.
and if I remember right when I read it, I didn't see anything where it was death.
They were
is due.
sisters. It was Vanessa and Lynn Redgrave. Was her sister.
Next up's Mrs. Shannon Doherty again. Then we got Pope Francis. He's 88. I don't know much about the Pope's health. Do you?
No.
I didn't look him up because it's the Pope. Who gives a shit? Sly Stone, we've talked about him. Linda Nolan, we've talked about her. Emeril Lagasse. He's 64.
Nah, that's not happening.
I'm thinking he picked him because at the end of last year he had a stroke. Now, strokes don't always lead to death.
He will live. I guarantee.
Guarantee. Bam. See the Bam guy?
He's the BAM guy.
All right.
But he's not the I guarantee. That's the Cajun chef or whatever.
Bob Eubanks is next. He's 86.
The old game show host?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know.
That'd be in the butt, Bob.
He's old. Tom Brokaw. He's 84. He is going to die. He has incurable blood cancer. They give it about a 8 to 10 year span since you're diagnosed, and he's about 5-6 years into
He's
it.
got leukoplegia?
I don't know what it's called. That's a good name.
That's blood cancer.
I don't know. It just says incurable blood cancer is what I seen the actual name, but I didn't.
Well, but so is that one cancer that doesn't. There's another blood cancer that's
They call it AIDS.
common. Yeah.
All right. After that, we have Eric Jensen again, and then we have Diana Ross. That's who Daddy White ends with. Diana Ross, I looked her up. She's not sick or anything. She's old. And the picture of her, she's one of those crazy bitches, too, that wears, like, triple mask. She was walking into this venue. She had 2 face masks on and then one of those giant plastic shields, and then everything else all balled up, too.
But you know what I will tell you from personal experience?
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
Oh, yeah?
A bitch. I used to work concert security, okay, when I was, like, in college.
She's a bitch.
And I did the Diana Ross show one time. And I... either you're put in the front of the stage, you're put at one of the doors. This time I was put backstage. And I'm backstage, and I'm like right at the hallway where all the dressing rooms are. And her guy comes out, and he says, Miss Ross is taking the stage. Nobody look at her.
Yeah,
and everybody backstage had to turn their back on her and not make eye contact with Miss Ross.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Get over yourself.
And, sometimes, though, that is not the artist. That's the fucking psychos that run the backstage area that are doing it, as a precaution just to be dicks and stuff.
Yeah.
But probably her.
Let me finish the story. She takes the stage. She goes across, and she is high-fiving the front row. One guy who's such a giant fan reaches up and kisses her hand. About 5 minutes later, that guy came being carried right by me and out the fucking back door.
Oh, I shouldn't be kissing him.
He kissed her hand,
Yeah,
and this was in the 90s.
All right. Nathan's up next. I didn't look if Nathan's given us. He gave us the same list over and over again for like 3 years, and I didn't look to see if it matched up. I don't think it is. I think he has some new people because I don't remember at least one of them. All right. Vince McMahon. That's been on his list every year. 78 years old.
Okay.
He has Linda McMahon on there, Vince McMahon's wife. She's 75. What's funny too is I looked her up last night, and there's a lot of shit going on with the McMahon family right now. And I thought maybe she would, be discussing that, but she's just shitting on Joe Biden instead. It's like with all the shit going on with your husband, you're just going to talk shit about Biden right now.
Yeah.
Either way. Next up, he has Joe Torre. Joe Torre is 83,
The
baseball
baseball
manager. I don't know if he's sick or not. Then he has Bruce Willis. We have that. We have Kilmore. He's number 5. He's 64 years old. Number 6 is Rudy Giuliani. I don't remember him having that before. So Rudy is 79 years old.
Yeah, but
Outside of having bad hair color and everything, I don't know anything wrong with Rudy Giuliani.
it's fucking mayor.
Well, what are you watching?
I'm finding something for you afterward.
All right. Here we go. And then number 7, he has Michael Richards, who has disappeared after he said the N-word a long time ago.
18 times in a 30 minute,
Yeah, that was his joke.
30-second span.
He didn't understand why no one understood his joke.
Well, he was yelling at the guy in the balcony.
That was the whole joke.
Well, no, the black guy was heckling him,
I know.
and he just went off on the N-word.
But he thought
10
the N-word
times.
was funny saying it. That's why he kept on saying it.
And that was a hard R.
Oh, yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
Then he has Britney Spears, 42. She's, like I said, missed it a couple times. Next, he has Barry Manilow. And I just wonder what Nathan knew about Barry Manilow. But
Well, Barry Manilow, man, he's one of those guys. First of all, he could still fuck any woman he wanted, old ladies, and he wants to, because of it. He had so many fucking hits. But he is a gay man. But
is he?
Yeah, he's gay. But the thing about him is he's one of those guys that looks so bad with all the plastic surgery that he kind of looks like a monster.
Yeah. I like
You look
that.
at him and go, ooh.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell when you get to that point how old you look because you look so deformed and all that. But I know he's got to be 75 or 80 years old.
He's old. That's definitely for sure. I don't know exactly how old, but he's old. He's 80.
80.
I do know. It's right in front of me. I don't know why I said I didn't know. All right, Neil Diamond. He's 83 and he has Parkinson's.
Nah, Neil's not going anywhere.
He has Parkinson's.
I realize that.
I don't
Michael
think
J. Fox has
Yeah, I
Parkinson's.
don't think Parkinson's kills you right away, does it?
No. My ex-brother-in-law died of
does it ever kill
Parkinson's.
you? Does it kill you?
Took 12 or 15 years to
Okay,
kill
so
him.
it does kill you. But
It does kill you.
What's it do eventually?
I believe, and I'm no expert, but I believe what happens is it just kind of seizes up stuff. And,
Okay.
You know what I mean? Probably, my guess would be a heart attack from it.
All right, Kevin Conner, he puts in his death list this year. He has a couple right off the bat that we've seen already. He has Bruce Willis. He has Hunter Biden. Number 3 is Larry the Cable Guy, only 60 years old.
No chance.
I don't know. I mean, the guy has probably bad cholesterol levels, but I don't know outside of
And
that.
$1 billion.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Larry the Cable Guy. I actually haven't heard him in a while. Is he still doing his thing?
I think he's kind of sitting back on the money. I think he's doing some writing for some other people,
Okay.
but I think he's sitting back on the money.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about him. I know he's not as popular as he was.
No,
but
they say, but that 2 years where he was like, oh my God, I think he made like $300
No, he
million.
did stupid money for those couple years because he was constantly on tour. He was smart about that whole thing. He did it the right way.
Yeah.
As soon as that redneck comedy special came out and he blew up, he went on tour straight for like 4 years. Tom Segura's kind of done that too. He blew up and he's been on these giant tours, and I think his goal is to eventually retire on the money.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's what Larry did.
He's hitting it while it's hot and staying with it consistently, not just going on a little tour and letting it die down. So he's doing it smart, and Larry's doing well as far as I know. Next up, Shannon Doherty. We've already had her. Then he has Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, for all you guys that don't know, he's real big in this guy movement that's going on. It's like men feminist kind of thing, like men version of feminism, where they're just like, guys are the shit, girls suck, you got to keep them obedient or whatever. He's a former kickboxer. He's in great shape. I don't know why he would die. You know,
unless somebody kills him.
Unless someone kills him, but I don't think he's like hated like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, celebrity boxing, have him against like a real big feminist.
Oh, against a feminist? I think he's going to end up fighting one of the Paul brothers eventually, but either way, outside of that.
He'll get killed.
I don't know. He was a championship kickboxer at one point.
You know what? See, now, to me, Jake Paul, real talent there. I don't know if he's as good as the hype, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
but when Logan went WWE, you lost me. Not a Logan Paul fan.
I like Logan Paul more because he is a WWE guy. That means he's buying in. All right, Donald Trump, 77. Trump's not going anywhere. Barry Melrose, I don't know who that is, but he's 60.
I've been to his place.
Oh, have you?
Melrose Place.
Do you know who Barry Melrose is?
Never heard the name.
Yeah, I don't either. He's 67 though and has Parkinson's. I did look him up. I probably saw what he did and forgot already. Lindsay Lohan's next. She's 37. She's still kicking. I think
it would have happened years ago.
Well, and you don't hear much about her anymore. And you know, if she was still fucking up, you'd still hear about it because they love putting that kind of stuff in the news. So she must be keeping on the straight and narrow. And
the thing about her is she's lost the one thing that made her always so famous.
Her looks.
She's not young anymore.
Oh yeah.
No, she still looks good.
Next he has what is that? Benjamin Netanyahu.
What does he think he's going to get like
blown
bombed?
up? I don't know. He's 74 years old. I don't know why he would go anywhere. And then
I think he's more protected than the fucking president is.
That might be. You know, he's a hardcore leftist there, Kevin. So maybe that's how he wants that to happen. You know, I mean, the lefties really hate him.
Yeah. Well, the lefties don't stand with Israel at all.
Well, it's not even the Israel as much as it is him.
He's nuts.
Yeah. I mean,
he's the first politician that ever actually said the words, I will nuke you.
No, he's the Dick Cheney of Israel. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's a fucking heartless piece of shit that's running their country.
And they're all held hostage by him.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a dictatorship.
All right, next we got Vladimir Putin. That's his last one. He's 71. There's been talk that he's been sick for a while. He looks fine to me, but what do I fucking know? They're not going to present him looking bad, so...
I mean, the only thing about those last two is, they're right. Now they happen to be in the middle of gigantic wars. So, I mean, it could happen.
Yeah. Our last list of the day is Hairy Guy. Hairy Guy's first one is George Foreman. Now, he broke it down. He has 3 categories for some reason.
We don't give a fuck about
he has
pick the name.
Boxers, politicians, and pro wrestlers. So the first 4 are all boxers. George Foreman, Antonio Tarver, Dewey Bazella, and Larry Holmes. Now, I don't know who the fuck Louis Bazella is.
Larry Holmes has got to be 65.
The rest of them are all old. I put his list in late, so I don't have their ages. Obviously, they've all been punched in the head a bunch of times. That doesn't mean you're going to die, per se. Just means you're going to be a fucking moron the last
I don't know
years.
who that third one is.
I don't
Woody
either.
Buzella. But
Dewey Buzella. I don't know him either. He might even be throwing
Tarver would be the youngest of those.
Tarver isn't that old, right? He's probably in his 50s, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Larry Holmes seems the most obvious out of that group. George Foreman has looked fine every time I've seen him. He hasn't looked any different than he's looked for fucking
George Foreman,
ever, you know. But I don't know.
Big, happy-looking bald guy.
Next, he has 2 politicians. We've had them both on the list now, Joe Biden and Dick Cheney. And then he goes into pro wrestlers. We got Tammy Sunny Cinch, or whatever her fucking name is. Now, she's like a junkie off and on, alcoholic
Be cool if her
piece
name
of
was
shit.
Snatch.
She was hot as fuck back in the day. Sunny from WWE. Yeah, she dated Shawn Michaels and a couple others. She was like the whore of the time back then.
Oh, okay. What was the other whore's name that was with Ultimate Warrior, Rick Rude? The one that was passed around from
Miss Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, yeah.
She was supposed to be classy.
Yeah, but she got passed around.
She got passed around, yeah. But I don't know if she did Ultimate Warrior, but she did Randy Macho Man Savage and a couple others. And she's dead now. So, you know, if you would have put her on the list a while ago, you would have got it. Number 8, Jeff Hardy. For all you that follow wrestling, Jeff Hardy could die anytime. The guy's constantly getting DUIs, pills, jumping off things. He's a crazy
The Hardy
person.
Boys?
Yeah.
What was the other one's name?
Matt. Jeff and Matt Hardy. Next is good old JR. JR could die at any point. He's
You don't want to talk like that. He's had a
stroke
stroke,
victim. Yeah, he's looked like he's going to die forever. Number 10, he gave us the real one. We're not going to use it, buddy. He doesn't have a fucking wiki, so we can't use someone that he gave us.
Oh, yeah, we can't.
Can't do that. You might not be wrong. But either way, his last pick is Kelly instead. It's another wrestler. And Kelly, as far as I think that's Undertaker's wife. Either way, I don't think she's in poor health or anything. So that's the list. The death pool is live. For all of you guys that maybe forgot, if you get it to me sometime in the next week or so, I'll allow it. Anything after that, go fuck
let's say
yourself.
1 week.
Yeah, you got another week.
Because
to
I
turn 'em
think
in.
you're just going to, whoever you are, you're just going to steal names from all of ours.
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
well, the one person I know that was supposed to send it in probably wouldn't do that. So we'll wait on his and maybe another one, but we'll see. If you have too many of just the same ones, you can go fuck yourself at this point.
You don't get a bottle of liquor.
But if you can give me an original list, or at least mostly original list, I'll probably take it still. But that's the death list. Good luck, guys. I hope everyone dies.
Especially everybody on your list.
Mm-hmm.
So, be on the lookout for the Daddy White. The only good thing about the Daddy White is there was a lot of repeats on his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of other people had his main people.
But that's pretty normal. It's just a matter of getting your repeats and not, everybody else.
Yeah.
So you need to get at least one or two originals usually to win, and then maybe one of the big hot ones this year will be Shannon Doherty. I mean, if Shannon Doherty dies, all of a sudden 5 people are up there pretty far, but you're going to need another one now because there's too many of them.
You're tied, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So that's our death pool
I think she's pulling it
episode.
together, though, man. I think she's pulling it together.
Well, I just saw her 2 weeks ago
looking good.
and she was joking about it. She was like,
Haha, I'm going to die.
here's who telling her friend, here's who I don't want at my funeral. They just kind of tolerated me. They didn't like me, so I really don't want them
Yeah,
there.
well, we joke about that.
Yeah, but she was being serious.
Oh,
She was
okay.
making a list with her friend of who she absolutely did not want at her funeral.
Well, let's go from death to... You got one. Asshole of the week. Here we go.
I've got an asshole that I just got 2 hours ago.
2 hours ago.
Didn't have one until this guy. Fucking.
I like it.
Well, we've been in the
recent
conversation.
asshole.
We've been in the conversation about this very thing for a while.
Okay.
But I make an appointment to go get my hair cut.
All right.
And I go in and get my hair cut. And all I know is the guy's name is Ron B. Don't know his last name because at Great Clips, your name's on there, first name, last initial.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a haircut. He's right next to me. Okay. The girl cutting his hair, very friendly. How you doing? What are you doing today? Blah, blah, blah. Comes through. It's $18. He was paying right in front of me. He hands her a 20. She gives him 2 back.
And he keeps it.
And he says to her, I don't tip. Sorry.
Come
Have
on.
a nice day.
Don't say it out loud.
He said it to her.
Don't say
I'm
it
sorry,
out loud.
I don't tip.
That's fucked up.
Ron B. If that's not an asshole, I don't know what is.
Ron B's an asshole.
And you know what the girl said? Well, have a nice day, but he waited for the $2. And first of all, she was probably thinking, God, $2, what a stiff,
Yeah.
And then he took it. And he said, I'm sorry, I just don't
Just
tip.
to say it out loud. It's just
said
you.
it.
At that point, you're admitting that you're wrong.
You're admitting you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
What would you say that for?
I don't know.
It's one thing to stiff you, and even stiffing is like, all right, you're a piece of shit. But to say, no, I'm stiffing you on purpose. I know I'm supposed to tip, but I don't.
Right.
That's basically what you're saying at that point.
And he said, I'm sorry, I don't tip. And he didn't say it like a dick. He said it like as a
would've-
matter of fact.
I would have been like, I'm sorry, but I hope you get AIDS. It's
I was
just
sitting there. I wanted to tip her
for him.
for him.
I think I would have had a hard time not saying something to the guy.
Uh,
I think I would have said that. I wouldn't have said the AIDS thing. I
just
probably
kinda
would
looked at
have
him.
went like, well, that makes you an asshole. And then that would have been about it. And seeing where it went from there. Because
but I mean, when the guy looked her in the face with a smile and said, I'm sorry, I just don't tip.
a
I
smile.
went, you're a fucking asshole, Ron B.
Yeah, fuck Ron B.
Yeah, Ron
Come
B in
on.
White Oak. Fuck you.
It's one thing to not tip, but to say that, like, it's just rubbing it
Right
into
to
me.
her. And like I said, when he handed her the 20 and she goes, okay, that's 2 chains. And he went, like, give it up.
Yeah.
You ain't getting it. First of all, I was sitting there thinking, because he didn't have any other money in his hand, and I'm going,
$2,
$2
what a
could be
shitty
cheap
tip.
shit.
Yeah.
And then he took it back and said, I'm sorry, I don't
Wow. When you originally said that, I thought he was going to give her a $2 tip. And I was going to, man,
tip. Well, he would have been an asshole for
at least
that,
throw her
right?
a 5 spot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, that's my standard haircut tip is a 5
Hey, speaking
spot.
of assholes, and this isn't my asshole of the week, but this could have been my asshole of the week, and I just remembered it. I'm Ubering the other day. My first ride out the gate, our buddy Keyshawn. And
You're the second one. Beasley picked him
yeah,
up once.
I pick up Keyshawn, and I'm picking him up from the fucking our place of work. I
And the ride, you cancel it and give him a free one?
No. I thought about canceling it and driving away when I saw it was him and just flicking him off because it would have been hilarious. But no, and I did. It did cross my mind. You know, when he got in the car,
give him a freebie.
I could have canceled it and gave him a freebie. It was only like $4. I was only getting like $4. It was
Yeah.
I would have never took this ride, but I was sick of waiting. So I'm like, fuck it, this gets me to Clifton.
Yeah.
I was downtown. It got me to Clifton to the college part. Maybe that'll be busier. All right, we'll see what happens. You know, so I see it, and it doesn't say Keyshawn. It says Sean, Shon. So I knew it was a black Sean.
At the casino.
No, it was a river in front of the courthouse.
Oh, okay.
And he walked over there to make it easier for the driver. You know, guy has over like 300 something rides and has a 5-star rating. So Keyshawn's never caused issues, which kind of shocks me.
Keyshawn don't cause issues with
no.
anybody, really.
So I get the ride. I didn't end it, like I said. Fuck him. I've taken him on too many rides for free over the years. He can
Did you make him sit in the back?
No, I told him, but he didn't. Then he fucking tips me $2 when it's all said and done. I get that thing. You know, you've been tipped $2. He writes me, hey, I tipped you $2, so I only owe you 23 I only owe you 18 for the wrestling pole. Motherfucker owed me $20, tips me $2, and told me to take it off what I owe him.
And the worst part is, he meant it.
He probably meant it, that fucking asshole.
He's going to give you $18.
Nah, he won, so he ended up making
win.
money, so he didn't have to pay me. But I wouldn't have been surprised if he did. Fucking God. And then he sends me a screenshot of the bad rating he's about to give me. Unsafe driving, all this other shit.
Would it be funny if he did just blast it?
I told him if he ever got an Uber from me. Now, Lyft, I don't want it because I got all good ratings on Lyft, so fuck it. But Uber, I told him I wanted a 2-star because I'd never got a 2-star. I was like, promise me you'll give me a 2-star if you ever have a Lyft or an Uber with me. Now I've actually got that 2-star, so I no longer want it. But, you know, it don't matter.
And on the feedback, he put friendly, jolly fellow.
You got to watch out, though, because sometimes if they mark you for certain things, they'll, disconnect you. You know, if you say your brakes are bad, they'll make you fucking go pay for a brake specialist to say your brakes aren't bad before you're activated again. So some of that shit you got to be careful with. All right, my asshole of the week is a guy that was made our death pool quite a few times. It's Vince McMahon. All right, and for all those that know what's going on, you're going to think, what makes him the asshole? And I'll explain. Well, you'll think that he's an asshole for a different reason. So it came out this week that Vince McMahon apparently had a lady on staff that got paid $75,000 a year basically just to fuck him and his friends. All right. And he would he'd fuck her constantly in the office. He'd have 3-ways with his friends. Now she said some of it's consensual, some of it's not, blah, blah, blah. Either way, I got a feeling that she at one point made the agreement to do this job. There was nothing else to the job. The actual title, there was no actual job. Basically, her job was to be a sex slave for Vince McMahon. But she had to
travel with them?
I don't know if she traveled per se. I imagine, but they didn't really specify in that. Yeah, they did travel because that's what makes this sex trafficking. Because you're going from state to state at this point. Okay. Yeah. So that is what can make it sex trafficking if this goes to court, which I believe it is now going to court. Why Vince McMahon is the asshole to me isn't because he did that. If this lady agreed on a job, I will say you're an asshole for being a billionaire and only paying someone $75,000 to be your sex slave.
Yeah.
Maybe you could throw her a couple more bucks.
Hot?
Yeah. Very pretty. Very pretty. Like girl next door pretty though.
Oh, okay.
But very, very pretty. There's only one picture floating around on the internet of her. Now, the fucked up thing is some of the stuff they did. Now she's saying in these documents, like at one point he shit on her during sex and wouldn't let her wash it off until the friend got done coming. Like in a 3-way, he's shitting on her. Vince McMahon's a freak, dude. So we got the shit going on. He had apparently a bunch of dildos and butt plugs all named after different wrestlers that he could give her the Undertaker, and do shit like like just completely weird, freaky shit. He would send pictures and photos of her to all the other, some of the wrestlers and stuff. They're saying that Brock Lesnar apparently is one of them. That's why he wasn't at Royal Rumble. He was going to be in Royal Rumble before this came out. But apparently Brock Lesnar is part of the get him back from UFC. He was promised that this girl would also be his sex slave. It was going to be put in like his contract, and then she even has messages from Brock Lesnar, basically confirming this thing. Like, you ready? Shit like that. And
so he's a creep too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It turns out a lot of these guys are fucking creeps, and you got to look at someone like The Undertaker, who, he's a close friend of Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And he had to know, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know, I guess you can give these guys an off, but hey, you're with that company for that long. You have to know that Vince McMahon's doing this freaky shit.
But this puts fucking Triple H totally off the
Well,
hook.
the thing is, he was never.
There's no way he was involved.
He was never involved.
To his daughter, right?
And apparently his daughter's all pissed off. Vince McMahon had quit. I mean, last week he's off of all wrestling stuff again. Now,
As he should be.
He did this a couple years ago, but now they're not owned by Vince McMahon anymore. So now he's. But in the contract, when WWE sold, he said in his contract the only way he could get forced out is death. So he had to quit on his own.
Yeah.
But he did quit on his own. He's still claiming innocence. The part that makes him the asshole isn't all that stuff. That is what it is. Some of it's bad. Some of it, if she's telling the truth and it's forced sex, that's different. But if she just, agreed to be a sex slave for so much money a year, okay, well, that seems like a fair agreement. When they ended all this stuff, I guess his wife had found out. So Vince McMahon put an end to it, and he had her sign an NDA for $3 million, right? She gets paid $3 million to never say this again. This cheap motherfucker, billionaire, only paid her $1 million of that. That's why all this is getting out. If he would have paid her the full,
she fucked him on
if he would have paid her the full $3 million, she legally could have not put any of this stuff out. He was in the clear. $3 million for a billionaire. He fucking stiffed her. He only gave her $1 million, and now they are legally allowed to release all this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He breached the contract.
And what's more fucked up is, there's even more crazy shit going on, because like I just told you what happened with her, she's getting shit on, all sorts of other stuff, and she got a $3 million NDA. He had $19 million worth of NDAs out. There was 4 other girls involved. Some of them with as much as $7 million in their NDA. Imagine what the fuck he did to them for $7 million. You know what I mean?
But see, now if you're a paid prostitute, hey, you need to follow me around and fuck me. One thing. But the thing that confused me about something like this is, the first time he did really fucked up stuff, brought in 10 guys and shit on her. Why would she go to the next one?
Well, and that's my thing is, that's why I have a hard time with it. I don't know. Her lawyers framed it as she had just lost some close people in her family, and she was in a real vulnerable position when they found her, all that stuff. And, whatever. He's not my asshole for what he did. I don't know how to judge that. He's an asshole because he didn't pay the $3 million. You promise you're worth $1 billion. $3 million is like for me and you owing someone $30 to save our career. We didn't pay him. We only gave him 10. You know what
exactly
I mean?
What it is.
It's nothing to him, and he didn't pay it because he's that fucking cheap and he's that big of an asshole and he's that much thinks he's just untouchable. I mean, the guy probably thinks he's untouchable because he has.
Well, he's touchable now.
He's touchable now.
Is he looking at criminal?
I don't know how it works exactly, but from what
Either way, the McMahon name is mud.
Well, when I was listening to a lawyer last night talk about it, and he was claiming that there's certain kind of like trafficking and stuff where NDAs no longer apply. So regardless of what you guys agree not to say, the government's like, fuck you, you still have to go to jail, kind of thing. So I think he might be brought up on charges because of that. I'm not sure about the legalities of it. I did watch something last night, but that guy was kind of unsure about it too. I was more listening for the details, the fucking pooping on people and not letting them wash off. That's weird.
And who's the guy that's fucking with Vince's poop on her?
John Laurinaitis. It's his number 2 guy. He's implicated in all this same stuff. He's Vince's number 2 guy, has been for years.
But he can complete the task with,
I guess he's a fucking freak too. Yeah, he likes fucking poopy girls. Someone else's poop. Vince McMahon's poop on her. Why is he pooping on her? What's going on?
Because Vince gave him a life.
Why do you got a butt plug named after Vader? What is going on? What the fuck is going on, Vince?
See, the Rey Mysterio butt plug went...
Flip-diddy-doos, it goes in her pussy. I can just see him like a child playing with him.
Undertaker, you will fight Kane.
He has
in their tummy sticks and all that.
He has the whole entrance.
And the Kane dildo was red and black and real tall.
Yeah, I think that's what they were. Is they were kind of matched their things. Apparently,
what a twisted.
He had a Shawn Michaels.
What a fucking idiot.
It's disgusting. He's a piece of shit. But come on, dude, pay your fucking NDA. You fucking asshole. $3 million ain't shit to you. And none of this would have happened. Instead, your fucking career was going down in flames.
But the thing about it.
I mean, in the end, he's just going to laugh in his money because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the whole point is, what a fucking just scumbag for, hey, I could see hey, look, I'm on the road a lot. I need somebody to fuck me. Here's a salary. But bringing in all your buddies and pissing on her and shitting on her, fuck you, dude.
Well, and there's all sorts of like just horrible messages, all the text messages. He just degrades her the whole
Come
time.
here, you whore.
Yeah, no, it's stuff like that. It's like, I can't wait to, I showed so-and-so your pussy. He said you look like a whore, stuff like that. Like,
so he's just a creep.
he was saying horrible things. It was a bad situation. The whole thing's a really bad thing, but Jesus Christ, pay your fucking debt, you loser.
Yeah, what a scumbag.
Fucking dork.
Hey, before we end this, we have to.
Yeah, we get a quick fuck you and we'll get out, I guess.
I've got the fucked up ad of the week.
All right, go for it.
The classifieds that I like to print out. This one, I saw this because I was looking for more. And this week, this was the only fucked up one I could find. But gross. Okay? This is from a guy looking for another guy. It says, clean cut bottom. I shower daily, but I'm turned on by masculine, rugged tops that like to eat natural work, dirty day ass. Ugh. Nothing gross.
He just said work dirty ass. That's gross.
Just a morning showered ass that is naturally musky by 5 p.m. Only looking for men that are into this. He's 34, looking for men 30 to 50. You're advertising. Let me explain what you're doing. You are advertising for strangers to come over and eat your dirty ass. Who the fuck thinks of this stuff? I mean, are there people answering an ad like this?
Yeah.
I want to come and eat a stranger's dirty ass, and he told me it's dirty?
Some people are into that stuff. Work ass.
Gross.
Didn't Ryan tell us that one day? I mean, he's talking about his girl, but he was telling us how excited he was because she had like a 13,000 step day and he ate her ass. Why it was, it's like
it's his wife.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's a 13,000 step day.
That's the fucked up ad of the week to me. I think that's fucking just beyond weird. Beyond weird.
Yeah, that's a fucked up ad. That's weird that's out there. Someone's wanting their ass eaten on a fucking Tuesday night. Why it's all dirty and gross.
All right, so what do we got now? Fuck you.
Get a fuck you and get out. Fuck you. Now, you want me first or you first?
I'm going fuck you to the state of Indiana.
All right, fuck you,
And
Indiana.
the reason I'm doing this, and this is the weirdest thing, the other day Matt and I drove to Michigan.
Yeah, I was going to have a whole conversation about you being a drug mule this week, but we were out of time.
Yeah, I was drug mule.
We'll talk about it next week.
But the thing about it is, we drive up and we're cruising on 75, and we're like 50 miles above north of Dayton, and we're going 75, 80 miles an hour, just having a conversation, having a good old time. Me and my buddy just talking. All of a sudden it says, okay, get off here. The next 100 miles was 2-lane country roads. And I'm like, is there really any fucking way to get to the state of Michigan without going through fucking Hee-Hawville?
I'm sure there is, but maybe not quick to get to that part of Michigan. He lives in like a weird nowhere part, right?
He does, but it was just the worst fucking, we were sitting there driving going, where the fuck are we, man? We're on a 2-lane country road, and it says continue here for 80 miles or whatever.
You took Google Maps, I'm sure?
Whatever is on, Google Maps.
Yeah, the Google Maps it gives you the shortest way, but it'll take you because I do a lot of cross-country driving for our vacations. We always go to oceans and we always drive. And so it's always usually a 10, 12-hour drive. And there'll always be, we're like, what the fuck? How are we? What's going on here?
Can't I just take 75 all the way up?
But in the end, Google Maps took you that way because you saved 9 minutes. Now, you could have took the highway the whole time and spent another 9 minutes, but they are going to take you the absolute shortest way to get you there. And sometimes that's
but when we were driving,
shit.
the country road part was all in the state of Indiana. And I'm just going to say it out loud. Not a fan.
No.
Not a fan of the state.
No.
I mean, 2-lane roads. Saw some Amish people, saw a couple buggies. But the whole point is...
How many rebel flags you see?
We didn't see any.
Really? Which I was going to say, it's not Southern territory, but
Yeah,
they're
but there's
still the
still
kind
some.
of people that would have them,
Well, they're out on the border.
Well, that's what's funny about it, though.
But no, I'd say fuck you to the state of Indiana because I had to drive roughly 200 miles through your town, and you gave me absolutely nothing to look at. You gave me some really fucked up speed limits, and you just kind of, in a sense, ruined my day. So,
No.
Indiana, fuck you.
I think we can all agree that Indiana just sucks.
There's nothing
There's nothing quality. There's like the sand dunes up on the lake. on Lake
Oh,
Michigan,
yeah, the
whatever.
lake, yeah.
That's cool looking. So
They
just
say
that
it
little,
looks like a beach, right?
yeah, that little spot right there looks like it might be worth visiting. But anything outside of that, I don't really see any point ever to go to Indiana.
I see nothing redeeming about the whole
unless
state.
I need to go to Indianapolis for a show or something. But it's just a
And-
basic ass city too. So
And I was nervous the whole time going, hey, because if I get, I got this stuff with me, and if I get to Ohio, it's legal there. It's not legal in Indiana. I'm
not
thinking I
legal
could
in
really
Indiana.
get popped here. You know what I mean?
You could have gotten some big trouble probably in Indiana. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
think
would
about
think
that.
so. They just made me nervous,
Follow
and they
those
made
speed
me
limits.
drive slow. And they fuck you, Indiana. I didn't like anything about your state.
All right. Well, fuck you to my meniscus. All right. I'm pretty sure I tore it. My left knee is just not working. Last week I was hanging out. I went to work. I was fat and I was 43. And then the next thing I knew, my knee was swollen. And I didn't do anything. It was just swollen. It was feeling real loose. That
You're
happened.
still 43.
That happened for 2 days. Oh, I know. I'm aware. That happened for 2 days. And then for a miraculous 28 hours, it stopped hurting. And then it started hurting in a different spot. Now below, and now anytime I walk downstairs or move my knee from left to right, it is fucking ridiculous pain.
Really?
Oh yeah, it hurts.
Have you been to the doctor?
No, I don't do doctors.
For
Thankfully,
something like this, you have to.
yeah, it says you. Thankfully, when I was 37 or 38 and I was fat, I also did the same thing. So I bought this fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace, and when I got the knee brace on, it doesn't really ever hurt. So I think I'm just going to have to wear a Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace the rest of my life. Or I could go to the doctor, but come on.
When I was...
I might go, but I'm going to wait till my deductible's paid.
Yeah, because that'll be a pricey one.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that'll pay your deductible for you.
Well, no, but my wife, with all of her stuff going on and the fact that she's on Medicare, we kind of get around that deductible, and it gets paid in the first month. So I mean,
nice.
I can wait until March at the latest, and I'd be fine.
Very cool. Well, that's our show today.
Yeah, fuck you, knee. Vince McMahon, you're an asshole, and everyone else needs to die.
So I can get a cheap bottle of liquor and I will die.
Yeah, but until next week, we'll have an actual real show.
Back to the dick jokes.
Back to the dick jokes.
You can kindly fuck off now. Please subscribe and share. Well, you can kindly fuck off now. Subscribe and share. Fuck off. Fuck off.